Normally, at Halloween, a film called Spectre at the box office would be a ghost movie, really,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? It would be a scary movie, but not this year. The main one really is the Vatican Tapes, the new one, anyways, the Vatican Tapes, which is a horror film about a 27-year-old woman battling demonic possession. She's called Angela. See what they did? Angel,
A.
yeah,
Yes,
very
yeah,
clever.
yeah.
Played by Olivia Taylor-Dudley. And the Vatican, who are secretly across all reports of possession, who are monitoring them from a James Bond-style lair full of computer screens, send a priest to her over to the States for an exorcism. So this is directed by Mark Neveldine, who was half of Neveldine / Taylor, the creators of Jason Statham's Crank franchise. / Taylor is doing something else. I don't know where he is. This is just Neveldine now. And it co-stars Dougray Scott, Michael Pena, and Jaimin Hunso. Jaimin Hunso plays a priest. He delivers his lines with all the passion of a man reading aloud his weekly shopping list. He clearly just doesn't want to be there. He's pretending he's not even involved in this, as you will hear in this clip.
Here is the case I told you about. A local priest has witnessed several incidents involving this girl.
I was fine before I saw the doctors. This place is making me sick. I'm not staying here.
Okay. Angela, you were in a car accident. Do you remember that?
I want to go home. I want to go home.
Angela?
Go home. I want to go
Angela.
home. I want to go home. I want to go home.
Angela?
I want to go home!
Did you see that? What are we looking
Making me
for?
sick. I'm not staying here.
The Antichrist.
Angela?
Go home. I want to go
Angela.
home. I want to go home. I want to go home.
Angela?
I want to go.
Get all of the hospital tapes. Get everything.
I want to apologize for having a videotape that you can hear rewinding instead of something more modern. It has,
One of the many things
one of the many things.
wrong with the Vatican Tapes. Unoriginal, I think, is the first word that springs to mind. Uninspired, uninvolving. Michael Pena, I really like as an actor, actually, but there's not really anything for him to do, which is a shame. We do learn at one point, although he is currently a Catholic priest, he used to be in the military, and there's a hint that he's a troubled soul. He's got some troubling tattoos on his forearm that hints at something, but it never really develops. It never comes to anything. It's the same with Dougray Scott. So he plays Angela's dad. Very imposing character, bullies her boyfriend, treats him like dirt, very overbearing. But again, that storyline never really comes to anything. It goes out of the window fairly quickly. So it's a bit of a damp squib. Now, on a slightly more serious note, the main thing I will remember about this film is that it was the first thing I watched last Tuesday, I think it was, after I'd heard about Philip French. So Philip French was a great film critic for The Observer, and he died last week. So we just heard the news, and then all the critics had to go in and watch this movie. And he was just a brilliant guy and a brilliant critic, lovely man. And so at the screening, we agreed to do something in his honour and do what he always did, which was stay right until the end credits finished. Which is what most of us don't do, to be honest. But we thought, no, in his honour, we will do that. So the film finishes, Vatican Tapes ends. We think we're going to sit this right out until the lights go up. And you just wish that it had been a better movie, really, in his honour. We did it, but ultimately everyone was desperate to leave that cinema because we just wanted to forget about watching the Vatican Tapes and move on. But we did it because he was great. But that, to me, is now how I'll remember the Vatican Tapes, not because it's any good, because it's terrible.